In this video, you will learn about EVA, which is AI-based software for Amazon private label sellers, and it includes different features and services like the repricer, reimbursements, as well as profit analytics dashboards. And if you would like to try and see what they do exactly, you will find the link below in the description of this video, so make sure that you visit their website, and also in the description you will find a coupon code which you can apply in case you will decide to sign up with their service. And in this video I asked the co-founder Hey Mac to present their features, their user interface, and we will learn how EVA functions. This video is part of the Demo Mondays video series. It's a series of videos where we invite different software creators and we ask them to present their products just like this on the screen. And today, as I mentioned earlier, our guest is Eva. Hello, hi, it's nice to have you here. Could you please tell us what is Eva and how does it help Amazon sellers?
Hi, Augustas, and thanks for having me and Eva. Right, so Eva is a profit maximization platform for private labels. Based on 10 years of our experience on Amazon and the technical expertise, we developed EVA, and there are like three main solutions: restocking, repricing, as well as reimbursements. And all of them combined, we are happy, we think we can help a lot to the private labels to increase their profits by 30 to 40% in a very short period of time.
That sounds great. Do you serve more advanced sellers, also beginners and intermediate?
At some point, like a decade ago, we were also small sellers, and in starting Amazon is hard. So we definitely cover them too. And what we are trying to do is like our products are for advanced sellers, but even for the small sellers, for the fraction of the the fees, they can get all the functionality. So that's kind of something that it's important for us to help the small sellers too. So the small sellers get what advanced sellers get, and they just pay less.
And what marketplaces do you cover with your tool?
So we are available in all North American and all European marketplaces, including given Poland and Sweden, and and we are also kind of started with all APAC as well.
All right, so let's jump to your screen and see how EVA works and what Amazon sellers can get from it.
So, the first thing that we are trying to do with EVA is the foundation, which is we give the full analytics view, which is focused on the profits to the private label sellers. We take the last 24 months of data, and we have the reimbursements, sales, cost of goods sold, refunds, expenses, quantities, average sales at the store level. That's kind of the starting point for us. We give like a full view of the expenses, the details for every month. We are able to show like what's going on in every state, quantities and amounts. That's for US. In the European markets, what we do is like we show an aggregated view of like all the different countries, UK, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, and also we have an inventory we also look at it's mostly for the FBA businesses. We are showing them what's their inventory storage fees and how it is developing. And we also show the private labels how their inventory is progressing, like how many items are available, back ordered, inbound, or unfulfillable. That's mostly at the store level, but then we go and have that functions also at the SKU level. Number two is like more kind of an operational view where we are able to show what's the daily sales. Like even on Amazon, it's not possible to show the what's going on today, but we are able to show that information. And also like, for every single day, what are the profits and what are the daily sales for every day, and the profits and the margins for the last 30 days. But also I can just easily pick a day like yesterday, Tuesday, and compare it with last Tuesday. And if I just go down, then, I will have a comparison of like how the items are sold between this last Tuesday versus the previous Tuesday. Another good functionality is like the refunds, because that is also affecting a lot the profits. So we are able to bring the last 30 days of refunds in a nice and easy way. So just to complete on the analytics, we show the top ASINs, like the top 10 performing ASINs, the last 7 days versus the previous 7 days. And we are also able to show like an ASIN segmentation, especially for the private labels with more than maybe 10, 15, 20 items. They are able to see like the top selling items, medium selling ASINs, and the low selling ASINs and others. Now, this is all about the store level view. When I go into deep in the details, I can just pick up a product. And on this product level, this is a private label product where I can see every day how the profits are, increasing or decreasing. There's like a 30 days, in the last 30 days for this product, like there was $3,800 of profit and there was $20,000 of sales. We show the average margin, the total expense, average ROI, average cost, and all the fees, including the advertising fees and everything is also calculated. Now, on top of that, we are also showing like for this particular SKU, how many units are available, what are the orders, inbound, back ordered items as well. And the thing on the right hand side that what you see is how the price changed during the last 7 days. Now, that's an interesting one. That's coming to the first kind of main function in EVA, because we have the orders, the velocity, the inventory data, the competitive information, and also seasonality, because we look at the last year's data. We are able to calculate what should be the best price tomorrow for any private label. So for any item, what we do is like for a given sales velocity, we are maximizing the profits by setting a new price. So for private labels, we do it for once a day. And if I just go into, let's say, one of the products, you will see that like every day the price is changing based on the sales velocity of yesterday, the day before, the week before, last 12 weeks, and even last year's data. So we take all the data, and for example, if there is a lot more advertising happened in the last couple of days, and as a result, the sales velocity increased, then what we do is like we are increasing the price too, which helps with the reduced ACOS, and which basically helps to get more profits for the same sales velocity. That's more the sales velocity based pricing. Number two thing is, one of the pain points of the Amazon sellers is the inventory based pricing, meaning that if the inventory is low, what we do is like we increase the price this time to reduce the sales velocity. We want to avoid or delay the out of stock situation until once we see a restocking coming from the customer, because we are checking all the inbound transactions, then it goes to the normal sales velocity based pricing. But the inventory pricing is active and it's increasing the price in case we know that it will be an out of stock situation in the next 7 days. So this particular function created a 35% additional profits during the last Q4, because, many of our private labels, they were going out of stock. At least they were able to maximize their profits gradually. There is another thing with the buybacks. I mean, whenever I talk to private labels, they tell me, oh, we don't care about buybacks. But here is a thing, and I think it's interesting. From time to time, the private labels, you know, they lose the buybacks. The reason is because Amazon is suppressing the buybacks. As soon as it is a situation, what Eva does is, first of all, you know, informs the seller right away that there is no buybacks. The second thing is Eva will reduce the price to get the buybacks as soon as possible, because typically Amazon will give the buybacks back if it's a pricing issue. And if it is not a pricing issue, at least the seller needs to know about that, because not having the buybacks can reduce the overall sales by 30%, even if it is a private label. So that's also something that we take care of. The other thing is, we see so many times the private labels think that there is nobody else in their listing, but we see 50% of the time there is somebody on their listing. So we call them either the hijackers, or sometimes even Amazon is on their listing for some reason. At least, you know, we are able to show even if Amazon is on the listing, if, you know, there is Amazon. Now, in this particular case, there is no Amazon. But, you know, and if the Amazon is on the listing, or if anybody else is on the listing, Eva will compete, like Eva will transform into a fighter mode, and will start make sure that the hijacker is not allowed to sell. We think that to fight with an hijacker is a better strategy than just to monitor it. But we see another strategy, like some of the sellers just want to be informed, and they just want to maybe buy that product, because they don't want the hijacker to sell on their listing, so they just buy it. Now, we think it is better to fight with that hijacker and make sure that he's not selling, and we can do that. Or the other way is like just to monitor it and buy the product and clean the listing. We think both works, but fighting as a better output. The reason is, once you continue the fight, most of the time the hijacker thinks that it's not a profitable product. There is fight going on in the listing, so they don't want to continue that fight. So that's about the hijackers as well that we covered. So this is all about pricing. The pricing, Amazon brands are doing dynamic pricing. Many of the FBA acquirers we are talking to, there are customers, FBA acquirers, and they do dynamic pricing. We strongly recommend that, you know, that the large sellers should definitely do, if they are selling more than 30, 40 items a month for the same SKU, dynamic pricing starts making a lot of sense, instead of just having a price of $19.99. So that's about dynamic pricing. Now, because like we know the inventory, orders, the profits, because we get the cost information through the dynamic pricing. By the way, it's another nice feature. Well, when the customer enters the cost, we calculate everything, including Amazon referral fees, stocking fees, and all that stuff. And we came up with what should be the initial price for a private label. Now, this helps us, because this helps us to calculate the profits for the same customer. Like, let me show the other one, because there is no cost entered here. But like we have the profit information. Now, once we have the profit information for a private label, we have the cost information, we can do the overall restocking, and we can have a forecast of the restocking. Now, I would like to talk about that one a little bit, you know, what we do with the replenishment. That's the Amazon term, and the restocking is mostly widely used, but we can go to replenishment. First of all, I just want to show that for a given sales situation, like, you know, for example, at any time we are showing the customer, if the inventory is less than 7 days, we show the customer that there is an alert about it, and there is a need to replenish at least 90 units if you want to fill it to the 30 days of inventory, and we also give the sales velocity as well to the customer. So that's, I think, very powerful, because many of the private labels, especially even if they have more than 10 SKUs, they don't know like when to restock. So that's more an SKU level view. Like at the SKU level, if there is an stock out risk, we already tell this to the customer. We start inventory-based pricing. If that makes sense, we immediately start inventory-based pricing, and we are informing the customer too. Now that's what we do with the restocking at the SKU level. But at the same time, there is a more important function which we call the replenishment. The basic idea here is the customer has a certain amount of money, meaning that for that certain amount of money or the funds, the replenishment can only be done, for certain number of SKUs for certain number of days. So the big question is which items to restock, and which items to restock even more than the others. So we developed in the Stanford, helping with, the help we get from the Stanford University, we developed an inventory function, which is, at the same time balancing the restocking. So there is a balanced restocking. Like, let's say there are 20 SKUs. So we kind of restock them in a balanced way for a given fund. But at the same time, we start from the most profitable item. And that's the uniqueness of EVA. For example, for any item, we know like what is the last 30 days average margin, what is the sales price, what is the sales velocity. And based on that, now we see that now, there's already 14 items available for this, store. It's inbound. And then there is a requirement for another 190. Like the requirement is to bring it to the 30 days of inventory days, at least 190 are important. Now, I go back. Obviously, like we created 3 main points for stock out alerts. Like we normally, the default is the full replenishment period is 30 days, but the customer can easily change that, like from 30 to 50 days. Why? Because maybe the manufacturer is in China and it takes 50 days to ship it to UK. Then it's 50 days. Now, the replenishment alert period is typically what we use for a 3PL to Amazon FBA. Maybe it is 10 days, maybe it's 2 days, depending on where you are in Europe, US, or Asia. Now, these are like the 3 parameters that we use, and this can be changed by the customer. At the same time, we are showing the customer what is the in-stock inventory value. That's based on the average price that they already sold in the last 30 days. In this case, it's $47,000. If it is a European customer, it will be euros or pounds. And based on that, once the customer clicks like, I want to, let's say the idea is like, I want to replenish for 14 days of inventory. Okay. Now, when it starts, first of all, our software will say, you need $76,000. The next thing is what you are seeing is the software will start ranking the most profitable item and already replenish the 14 days. Now, it's already like, simulating a 14 days of replenishment. Obviously, for example, for this item, there is already 120 quantities in the inbound, but then most likely there will be another 132 coming to make it to 14 days. And there is a ranking based on the best profitable items. Now, once this simulation is there, if the private label seller is happy, what they do is like they just export this replenishment data and send it to their supplier or manufacturer in order to get these products. We are, we just released this like a month ago. And I can tell you that we had a private label having like 5 virtual assistants trying to find out like when to restock what. And now he's doing the whole job with one virtual assistant is just going into Eva, picking up the right replenishment alert period or stock out period, and based on that, or the Eva will give exactly what needs to be restocked, and then export it, send it to the supplier. It's a very, very easy job. Like behind it, there's a sophisticated algorithm, but what we show to the customer is really an easy way to make this restocking work. There is another way, which is, what if the customer, our customer has, let's say, $50,000. Let's make it like 50,000 here. And for $50,000 out of 4,000 SKUs, it's a private label, but in the textile industry, to simulate that. And it may end up like saying, for this amount of money, like the customer can replenish only 233 SKUs. And these are the 233 SKUs that will be replenished as a result of, having $50,000 of a fund. Now, that's also great because many of the sellers, they need growth capital. If they want to get any growth capital, they can easily use this algorithm, and they can even, give access to the many of the growth capital or money lenders. We work with all of them. And it can easily be like a one-day approval for growth capital, because it's obvious, it's very clear based on Amazon FBA data how much money they should get and what it will be and how it can be used. And this is the whole replenishment part. Now, we talked about pricing, which supports the replenishment, because the key problem but on the Amazon side is, number one, Amazon doesn't know your profits because Amazon doesn't know your cost. Now, we know the cost, we know your profit, so we can do the replenishment based on the profit velocity. Number two, the Amazon looks at the last 30 days sales velocity, where we are predicting the sales velocity based on your product's last year performance, and also similar products in the similar category. So we spend a lot of time to always predict the sales velocity rather than just use the past 30 days or 90-day sales velocity, because it doesn't work. We know some products, like some other software, is doing it based on the last 30 days. But what if like you are in January 1st and you need to understand how much stock you need for the next 30 days? And if you are doing it based on the December data, it will not be correct, because the January, maybe your sales will be 20% of what it is in December. So that's also, another reason why the restocking works with 98% accuracy. Customers are super happy. And that brings me to the third function, which we think it's a great feature that can help the sellers to get more money from Amazon, which is the reimbursements. Now, when I talk about the reimbursements, the key point about that is like most of the private label sellers are aware of it. Amazon is like doing some, kind of mistakes, or unconsciously they lost stuff, they damaged stuff. And these are categorized in 6 main categories on Amazon, like damaged warehouse, lost inbound, damaged inbound, customer service issues, return issues. What we do is like we take the 6 categories, and there is like 28 subcategories behind that. We have a team of Amazon experts. They were working with us when we were the Amazon sellers. We built that team because Amazon doesn't allow you to do like automated reimbursements. Otherwise, we can easily automate the whole stuff with our AI-powered system. But where we use our AI-powered software is to diagnose and to find out all these anomalies in your data. We do it very fast. And then we open cases based on, all the anomalies. Like then you easily see as a private label seller where Eva opened the case and how much money is reimbursed and all that stuff. So that's very powerful, like to provide a kind of an analytics view of the overall reimbursement scenario. We do reimbursements every week. We think it absolutely doesn't make sense to do it every 3 months or 6 months, because Amazon is like giving you a time frame to recover reimbursements. One of the things that we realized with the first generation companies on the reimbursement, which we call us like a second generation, because we think reimbursements, it is a part, the reason why we are doing it really, really well, because we have repricing, restocking, we have everything, all the data. Now, based on the data, we always let first Amazon to do the reimbursements. And one of the things we realized is there is a lot of reimbursement reversals happening with, this standalone reimbursement companies. They do the reimbursement very fast. And then you end up like, Amazon reversing that reimbursement. So we don't do that. Our reimbursement reversals is very close to zero. I very much encourage every private label to really check their reimbursement reversals. And we don't charge for that too. And that's very important for the reimbursement reversals company. As we are using AI for discovery, we are able to reduce the rates on our side. We typically do 20% of what we recover. That's what we charge. We don't charge anything with reimbursement reversals. This is a major cost in every single private label. They are not even aware of that, how much of the reimbursement is reversed, although they pay for it. And the third thing is very important to mention, because it's a part of the EVA portfolio. Once, for example, if somebody signs up for a EVA Ultimate package, they get like $6,000 of reimbursements for free. And if they are even an Orange Klik, kind of a member, or, they are following us, they got an additional $750 free as well. They just need to use the right, coupon code. And, I'm sure that it will be available also together with this presentation. And that will give almost like up to $6,750 of reimbursement for free. We are able to recover 2 to 5%. We have seen 5%. Yeah, it's unbelievable that it's true. On average, it's like 2.3, 2.4% of the reimbursements. And our reimbursement success rate is very close to 90%. And we do cover 28 different cases when we do reimbursements. We don't believe there is anybody close to us when it comes to reimbursements, and we try to make it as much as free for our private label sellers, so they can use that money with restocking, repricing, and be a member of the EVA, as well. So, and that's the reimbursement piece. So I think pretty much, I covered the whole portfolio of EVA. We have roughly 1,000 customers now. Most of them are very large sellers. We work with 7- and 8-figure sellers. But as I mentioned, the key point for us is definitely to expand to the sellers who are doing even 10K, 50K a month, 50K euros, and the way that we are able to make this work is, what we did was like, we have a very nice pricing plan, because it's really very cost effective. You get everything that you see starting from $24. It's almost a ridiculous price. But the reason why we did that, we think that, all of us started, from like nothing when it's Amazon business. We don't want to charge, the Amazon sellers, they are doing like 10K more than $24. The more, it just like the pricing is going up. As long as you have more product listings and monthly revenues, it goes up to $500 for $500,000 a month. But it includes restocking, repricing, reimbursements, and it, as you see here, $6,000 free reimbursements even come in the beginning with that ultimate plan. And once, because we have all the analytics covered, the customer doesn't need an analytics software. Customer doesn't need a reimbursement, company, no need for a pricing software, no need for a restocking software. Everything is all combined, and just using the same data and the same artificial intelligence that we based our solution into. So I think it's a very unique solution, and that's why we are growing with FBA acquirers. Like many of them are our customers. Large sellers are our customers, and hopefully we want more European customers to join, and that will be really great for us. So that's pretty much it, Augustas. I hope it was good enough. Let me know if you have any questions or anything.
Thank you very much for presenting this power tool, Eva. And I wanted to ask, when you talked about repricing, you talked about that your algorithms are looking at the history. What happens if there is a new user and now they want this repricing to show correct data? How far away can you get the data from Amazon Seller Central account?
Oh, yeah. So we can easily download the last 24 months. And that's exactly the data we are looking for, because the last 24 months gives us this year data, and the last year data gives us the idea about seasonality. And then the AI starts, calculating all the kind of the function. And every single day, the AI learns more and decides based on more data.
Okay, sounds good. And can you reveal to us some future features you are planning to release to your users?
Oh, that's a great thing. So we are thinking about, and something actually our very large, we have a couple of 8-figure, customers in Europe as well. And they are like really masterminds. One of the things that we want to do, and it will come around like in July period, is category-based pricing, meaning that the whole pricing that I showed to you is about the customer's own listing. But what if like we are able to get similar items and start like monitoring the similar items? That's one thing. The second is, in the same category, perhaps the private label seller will like to monitor some of them and then maybe compete with some others, and maybe based on a brand value. So what we want to do is like, we will bring that category-based pricing. So for a given category, there will be products from the competitors. We are going to do the pricing based on that. And also we will combine it with product targeted advertising, meaning that then it will become very powerful and it will be all automated, meaning that the private label is competing with the price, but also able to maybe pop up in the other ASIN, the competitor's ASIN, by using the advertising. And that's kind of the future roadmap, that we are combining the best parts of pricing with product targeted advertising and do that category-based pricing.
All right, great. So those who are still watching, you will find the links below to eva.guru. It's their website, and the coupon code as well in the description of this video. The coupon code which will give you some advantages and some extra bonuses, which are described in the description. And thank you very much, Hai, for presenting Eva to us and to our audience, and good luck in your business. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Augustas.
If you would like to try Eva or just check their website, what they do exactly, you'll find the links below in the description, as well as a coupon code which you can apply in case you will decide to sign up with their services. And now I would like to offer you to watch other video on our channel, which is quite popular. And here our guest Chris Rawlings is talking about A+ EBC content and how to make it work on Amazon product listings.